This short video will deal with academic referencing. Now, this is an extremely important topic because whenever we write an essay or produce a project or even give a lecture or a class, ideally we should credit other people's ideas. We should credit where we got our ideas from, the sources, the source of our knowledge. So we should give reference to the person who originally came up with the idea. And in order to do this when we're writing, there are various methods that have been deployed and set out by academics over the years in order to show where the sources come from. And the one we're going to look at in this session is called the Harvard referencing system. Now, this is extremely important and also very well known throughout the academic world. Wherever you study, people are going to mention and talk about the Harvard referencing system. It's a way of acknowledging, as I said, the sources of information and ideas that you have used in your work. So when you use a particular idea and you've got it from a book or an article or from the web or from a video or whatever source, you should give credit to the person who originally came up with the idea. It's not your idea, you're using it. And that's quite acceptable, providing you give the source of the original developer of that idea. So all sources must be mentioned. Sources appear in the main text and also in the bibliography. The bibliography is a list of the references or sources that you've used throughout your work, and it's normally produced at the end of the work. This is normally the last page. It's normally organized alphabetically by the author's name, the author's surname. So when we reference a piece of work, we normally have it in the main body itself and also in the bibliography at the end. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a moment. So first of all, referencing is important because to avoid plagiarism, that means claiming other people's work is your own, which is really tantamount to stealing. You're stealing somebody's ideas. But to avoid that, we use referencing. Referencing indicates to the reader what is original and what is taken from other sources. So in other words, when you write an essay, some of the essay will be yours. These are your ideas. Your ideas in terms of what you're writing about, the topic, perhaps some of the research that you've done. These are perhaps your ideas. But you may also use some theories from literature, and those should be credited. Referencing shows openness and honesty. It shows that you are a good person. It shows that you're not trying to steal someone else's work and pretend it's yours. So it shows openness and honesty on your part. It enables the reader to see the source of the original work and to navigate to it if so desired. So the reader can see where the idea originally started and go and check it for him or herself. They can look it up as well, and they will be grateful to you for the reference, for indicating where you found it. The Harvard system of referencing material is sometimes referred to as the author date system. Sometimes. Generally speaking, it's referred to as the Harvard system. And it's very popular throughout the world. It's one that you must be familiar with. When you refer to a source within a text, you need to state the author's surname, then a comma. So this is in the text. When you're writing something, you've used somebody else's idea, At the end of that, you put a bracket, you put the author's surname, and then a comma. And then the year of publication, then a colon. The page numbers are entered next. Because when you refer to someone else's work, some books are very big, and it's not fair for the reader to just understand that the book is written by somebody back in whenever 1970 or whatever it is. If the book's very big, you should give the page numbers as well. So when we think of referencing, therefore, we think of a source such as I've got here. This is just an example, but for example, according to Smith, whoever Smith is, according to Smith in 2013, on page 21, gardening is the best form of exercise. So you've given a statement here. Gardening is the best form of exercise. It's not your idea. It belongs to Smith. And Smith wrote it in 2013, and it's on page 21. Now in the bibliography, Smith will appear again. This time Smith and his or her first name. The date will appear. The title of the publication or the source of the idea will appear. And so that the person looking at this can then go to the bibliography, whereupon they'll find Smith again, 2013, and now they'll have the publication title as well. Alternatively, the reference may appear in the text as gardening is a good form of exercise, and again at the end here, Smith 2013, page 21. So you can insert the reference into the sentence, or you can put it at the end. But please note, we've also got inverted commas here, showing that it is a quotation from someone else's work. If there are more references to the same author, then it is usual to add a letter to the year. For example, Smith 2012A, page 78, and Smith 2012B, page 91. In other words, there are perhaps 2 books or 2 pamphlets or 2 videos or whatever it is by the same person, and we've just denoted A and B in this case, and in the bibliography they'll have their full titles. And as I said, these references will appear in the bibliography. All references must be included in the bibliography at the end of the work, because that's where the reader is going to go to find the actual source, the name of the author, the title of the publication, or the source of the information, where it was published, who published it, when it was published. All that information will be included in the bibliography. The bibliography must be sorted and presented alphabetically. It's only fair to organize the bibliography in some meaningful way. So the best way to do it is to take the surname of the person, of the source. Take the surname and organize it alphabetically by surname. So now if we know that the publication was by someone called Smith, we would go down to the S's. And amongst the S's we'd go down to the M's. And it'd be Smith. And we'll find the source that we've... So the bibliography should be organized. Now other sources of help on compiling a bibliography. Well, there are many good sources of help in using the Harvard system of referencing. Many good universities and colleges make sources available online, and links to some of these are produced below. I give some links to these. But many universities and colleges, just go online and type in Harvard referencing and you'll find many good universities and colleges make this available to to the general reader because it's online and it's open, but I suppose it's primarily aimed at their own students for ease of access. But it's online and it's open, and there's nothing to stop you from looking at it. It's strongly recommended that you study the cites and understand how to use this important way to reference. So look it up, and if you've got any particular questions about some particular way of sourcing or referencing something, you'll probably find the answers on one of those sites. As I said, most of the good universities, the good quality universities and colleges have this sort of resource, and it tends to be open to the public. There's a few that I've fallen across. There are many more. I would have many slides full of references if I was to continue, but simply gave up at the end of that lot. So that's our talk introducing the Harvard referencing system. Of course, you'll deal with this more and more as you go through your studies, and there'll be more and more examples and uses of the Harvard referencing system. It's something you should master, and it's something you should watch out for. Once you've got the hang of it, it's good. You will enjoy using it. It'll make your work look very professional, and you'll feel good about having a good bibliography. It shows the amount of effort you've put into a piece of work. And of course, this will all be reflected in your grades as well. Students who have a good referencing system with many sources checked and referenced tend to do that bit better. Well, that's all I'm going to deal with here, so let's leave this little video and simply say thank you for watching.